The Mediterranean sky burns crimson and gold as dawn breaks over the Sicilian coast. A weathered dinghy, dangerously overcrowded with migrants, drifts towards shore. Clara, crouched at the edge of the boat, prepares to dive. Coast Guard spotlights sweep across the water. Without hesitation, she dives into the cerulean waves. Clara's lithe form cuts through the water with practiced precision. She emerges from the surf, gasping, her clothes soaked and clinging to her frame. She scrambles across volcanic black rocks that sizzle beneath the rising sun. The migrant boat is gone, either seized or escaped. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a soggy postcard, studying it intently. Clara begins climbing a steep, rocky path, her dancer's training evident despite exhaustion. With the sun now high overhead, Clara pushes forward, determined. In the distance stands Palazzo Carrere, a fortress with music drifting down. Clara approaches tall wrought iron gates, her face bright with hope. A hunched guard emerges, eyeing her suspiciously. She smiles and shows him the postcard. The gates swing open. Clara walks forward, mesmerized by the palatial grounds. She steps into the dimly lit interior, feeling the vastness. The lighting abruptly shifts and the music intensifies. Her expression changes to subtle unease as she looks up. Something is not quite right about this place, but her dream awaits within. My first ballet teacher said studios were sacred spaces. But this wasn't sanctuary. It was slaughterhouse dressed as cathedral. Too perfect, too pristine, like the moment before violence erupts. In Florence, they say certain mirrors trap pieces of the souls that look into them. Standing there, I felt myself fragmenting, scattering across reflective surfaces I'd never be able to reclaim. Her gaze had weight, physical pressure against my skin like being slowly submerged. Should I join? I just arrived. I came swimming from the boat.
Clara Weiss, you have your mother's posture, her hunger.
The way she said my name, like she'd been practicing it for years. Waiting. And mother. She knew my mother. There are moments when reality tilts, when the solidity of existence becomes suddenly porous. Standing there, I felt myself sinking through what I thought was real into something. Underneath.
Follow precisely. The pattern must be perfect.
In that moment, I remembered what my third foster mother told me about mirrors. Never trust reflections at midday or midnight, she'd said. That's when the barrier's thin, and what looks back isn't always you. Whatever I'd started by coming here, it had already begun to write itself on my body. Madame Joan's smile stretched unnaturally, revealing too many teeth. Her cane struck the floor, the sound echoing as if from another realm. Tonight is the Sicilian Nutcracker, a selective performance. Madame Joan's words twisted with cruel amusement, tightening her smile. Clara's body betrayed her, moving without permission. Muscle memory for a dance she'd never learned, as if inscribed in her marrow. Madame Joan demonstrated movements not of traditional ballet, but something older, tracing invisible symbols with flesh instead of ink. With each step, Clara's thoughts grew thinner, yet one question remained. Where was everyone else? The palazzo felt evacuated, lifeless. Clara's reflection remained standing, eyes black, smiling with malicious recognition. Her foster mother's warning about mirrors echoed in her mind. Madame Joan's cryptic smile held secrets. Who said she died? She whispered, her eyes flashing with something ancient and hungry. Curiosity hooked Clara, her mother's ghost reeling her in. A mark at her throat mirrored the sigil, a testament to the transformation already begun. 3 weeks can feel like 3 years when each day ends with your body broken and rebuilt. Madame Joan's training had become medieval. Less choreography, more exorcism. The other dancers appeared only during rehearsals. Mannequin-perfect girls with empty eyes who danced like automatons. They never spoke, never ate, never seemed to breathe when the music stopped. And when night fell, they vanished, like watercolors in rain. The first time I heard it, I thought I was hallucinating from exhaustion. By the 5th night, I understood. Whatever Madame Joan became after midnight wasn't entirely her, wasn't entirely human. Curiosity killed more than cats in this place. Something told me that witnessing Madame Joan's nocturnal metamorphosis wasn't just forbidden, it was fatal. The silence was worse than the sound, like being underwater, pressure building against eardrums, knowing something circled just beyond visibility.
Clara, I smell your mother in your blood. Soon, soon.
Whatever infected this place had infected her too. The way she moved during daylight. Too precise. Too mechanical. The way her shadow sometimes moved independently of her body. And at night, this transformation. Mother's last letter mentioned the splitting. Said it was the price of the dance. I'd assumed metaphor. Now I wondered if it was warning. With each rehearsal, the mark spread. Like something writing itself into my skin. Into my bones. My dreams were no longer my own. Filled with spinning nutcrackers with ram's horns and underground churches where dancers moved in perfect, terrible synchronicity. Tonight was the dress rehearsal. Tomorrow, the mysterious Sicilian Nutcracker performance. Madame Joan had grown increasingly fixated on my readiness, examining my eyes each morning as if looking for something to emerge from within them. I was beginning to understand the truth about Palazzo Carrere. It wasn't a dance academy. It was a chrysalis. And whatever was hatching inside me, inside all of us, wasn't human. Some doors once opened can never be closed again. Whatever my mother started here, whatever she became, I needed to see it through, even if it consumed me too. Every dancer knows there's a moment when technique surrenders to instinct, when the body remembers what the mind forgets. My feet knew where to go. The stairs seemed endless, spiraling deeper than physics should allow, as if I was climbing down the throat of something ancient. Someone had mapped these tunnels with dance, a choreography of the damned. Not mannequins, preserved. Each face familiar from rehearsals, still dancing even in death. Mother's last letter mentioned the church beneath the dance. I thought it metaphor, madness. Now I stood at its threshold.
The vessel approaches completion. Clara Weiss will succeed where her mother failed. The Nutcracker shall walk again in flesh.
It was never dance. It was invocation. Each arabesque, each pirouette. A syllable in an ancient language written in motion instead of sound.
Tonight, the Sicilian Nutcracker. Tomorrow, resurrection. The final vessel is ready.
You never taught me to dance. You taught me to summon.
The daughter arrives, just as the mother did. The bloodline is pure.
What happened to my mother?
She became us, as you shall. But her transformation was incomplete. Her vessel cracked. You are stronger. Perfect.
In that moment, I understood. The Sicilian Nutcracker wasn't a ballet. It was possession. The sigil wasn't choreography. It was a door. And I was the key. Mother taught me one thing before she sent me to foster care. Before she disappeared into water. How to reverse a dance.
Stop. The pattern must be maintained. Must be.
What opens can close. What binds can release. What summons can banish. Mother didn't drown in a Vermont lake. She drowned here, fighting what she'd accidentally awakened, sealing it away with her sacrifice.
You belong to the dance, to him.
I belong to no one. Me, her, him, was it a dream or reality? Am I alive or dead on water?